This InDesign document from the exercise files, called 4C Art History, has 241 pages in it. I can tell that by looking in the lower left corner of the Pages panel, where it says 241 pages in 121 spreads. Now, this document, a book, has various sections in it. For example, the opening section is the front matter, and my introduction should have page numbers, but they should be in Roman numerals. Can I do that? Absolutely. I can break my document up into sections and change the page numbering of those sections by using the Numbering and Section option dialog box. And I get there by choosing the page that I want to affect, in this case, page 9. Let me double-click on that so I can actually jump to it. I'm going to select that page and then go to the Pages panel menu and choose Numbering and Section options. You can also find that under the Layout menu. There it is, Numbering and Section options. When you choose that, it lets you change the page numbers for any page you have selected in the Pages panel. Right now, it's set to automatic page numbering. That means continue the page numbering from whatever the previous section was. In this case, we want to start this at page 1, and we want that page 1 to be in Roman numerals. I'll make it lowercase Roman numerals. When I click OK, you'll see some changes. Now, in the Pages panel, all my numbering changed to Roman numerals. In fact, if I double-click on this spread, you'll actually see those numbers at the bottom of the page. I, and so on. Now, sections go and go and go until you tell them to stop. So in this case, I'm going to scroll down in the Pages panel until I see the next chapter. I'm just looking at these little thumbnail sketches, and I can see that here's the next chapter. So I'm going to select that. I'll go to the Pages panel menu, choose Numbering and Section options, and once again, I'm going to change this to start at page 1. And in this case, I do want it to start with Arabic numerals. Click OK, and it tells me something's wrong. The problem is when you number a page, you're actually naming it. I'm giving this page the name page 1, and this document already has a page named 1. It's the first page in the document. So I'm going to fix this in just a moment. For right now, I'm just going to say OK, and we can see that the page numbers start over at number 1 again. If I double-click on one of these spreads, I can see the page numbers have updated properly at the bottom of the page. Now let's fix that problem. I'll scroll back to the top of the document, and I'll look at page 1. Notice that there's a little black triangle above the page in the Pages panel. There's one on page 1, and there's another one down here on page I. That black triangle means it's the beginning of a section. Every time you add a section, you get one of those black triangles. And of course, you always get a new section at the beginning of the document. And here's a little shortcut. If you double-click that black triangle, up comes the Numbering and Section options dialog box. I need to change the numbering of this section, that is, its name. So I'm going to change that by going over here and changing this to ABCD. It doesn't really matter what I choose here as long as it's not something I've used elsewhere in the document. And in this case, these pages don't show any page numbers, so it totally doesn't matter. I'll click OK, it updates here, and everything's good to go. But you might encounter one more problem. If you go to the Layout menu and choose Go to Page, and then I type page 1 because I want to go to the first page of the document, I'll click OK, and I don't go to the first page of the document at all, right? I go to the page named page 1, which is way down here in the middle of the document. In order to tell InDesign to jump to the first page of the document, I don't type 1, I type something slightly different. I say Go to Page, and then I type +1. Plus has nothing to do with addition. We're not doing math here. It just means the first page of the document. When I click OK, it jumps to page A, which is the first page of the document. That little plus symbol turns out to be really useful whenever you break your document up into sections and change your page numbering. Now that you have your master pages and your page numbering set up, it's time to look at what else you're going to do in your document, like formatting your text and graphics to look perfect.